Hi everyone, welcome back to Math with Amala. Let's start a new part of your chapter, number 11 of grade 8, direct and inverse proportions. Proportions are actually used for comparing two quantities. Let us have two kind of proportions here, direct and inverse. In direct proportions, when one quantity increases or decreases, the other also decreases. When x and y are in direct proportion, we can denote it like x by y equal to k, that is x equal to yk, where k is a constant. So this is the general form of direct proportion when we compare the x and y. Here x1 by y1 is equal to x2 by y2 equal to x3 by y3 if we have two or more quantities and they are equal to k. For example, let's take 40 liter by 60 kilometer, which is given in the textbook as an example. 8 liter by 120 kilometer. Here all the k's are constant and it is equal to 1 by 15. x1 by y1 is equal to x2 by y2 if three of them are given except x2. We can find x2 just by this type of transpositions. 4 into 120 is equal to x2 into 60. Then x2 can be found like that. If the weight of 12 sheets of thick paper is 40 grams, how many sheets of the same paper would weigh 2.5 kilogram? 2.5 kilogram means it is 2500 grams. You have to convert it to the same unit. When there are number of sheets 12, its weight is 40 gram. When there are x sheets, then it is 2500 grams. You can compare it with the normal comparison of direct proportion. 12 by 40 is equal to x by 2500. 12 into 2500 is equal to x into 40, that is x equal to 12 into 2500 by 40, that is 750. Suppose 2 kg of sugar contains 9 into 10 raised to 6 crystals. How many sugar crystals are there in 5 kg of sugar? So the number of sugar crystals are given and also we have to find the weight of the sugar. According to this question, this is actually an example of direct proportion just because of the reason that if one quantity, that is sugar crystal number, increases, then the weight also increases. It doesn't decreases there. So we have here in the first case 9 into 10 raised to 6 by x equal to 2 by 5. Then 2x is equal to 9 into 5 into 10 raised to 6, that is 45 into 10 raised to 6 by 2, that is 2.25 into 10 raised to 6. You have to write it like 22.5. Likewise, you can go through the second case also when there is some kind of kg or some amount of kg, what will be the number of crystals of sugar present in it. Now let's move to the inverse proportions. This is the opposite of direct proportion. That means when one quantity increases, the other will be decreasing. That means when one quantity decreases, the other will increase. That is a vice versa. This can be represented with the two variables x and y. When they are in inverse proportion, it is xy equal to k, where k is a constant. Now with some situations of x1, y1 and x2, y2, you can represent it like x1 into y1 is equal to x2 into y2. x1 by x2 is equal to y2 by y1. You have to look at the suffixes like 1 and 2. It is in order for x1 and x2, but it is not in order for y2 and y1. x1 y1 equal to x2 y2 can be used for solving equations. When one quantity is not given, instead of that we are given with all other three quantities, then you can find the fourth quantity very easily. 2 into 4 is equal to 1 into y2 means y2 is equal to 8 by 1, that is 8. Next question. 6 pipes are required to fill a tank in 1 hour 20 minutes. How long will it take if only 5 pipes of the same type are used? So the number of pipes are 6 and 5 and the time taken is 80 and x. And that 80 is in terms of hours, you can say 1 hour and 20 minutes. In total it is 80 minutes. 80 into 6 equal to x into 5. 80 into 6 by 5 is equal to x and x equal to 96. Here according to the pipes number, the time will be decreasing. If the number of pipes are increasing, the time will be decreasing. Likewise, if the number of pipes are decreasing, the time will be increasing. So they are in inverse proportion. From the example itself or the situation itself, we are very clear that how we can interpret with the inverse or with the direct. Next one, let's move to some examples of this direct and inverse proportions. Area of cultivated land and crop harvested. This is the best example for direct proportion, because if we cultivate in a vast area, the production also or the crop also will be very much higher. And if we do it for a small area, you will get a small amount of crop harvesting. The next example, the time taken for a journey and the distance traveled in a uniform speed. Yes, according to the time taken for the journey and the distance, if the time goes, the distance will be increasing, it will not decrease. When the time increases, the distance also increases, and it will be in the uniform speed, it is already given. In the inverse proportion, you can have two examples like the number of workers on a job and the time to complete the job. When the number of workers increases, the job will be completed in very fast timing. That means the time will be decreasing there. The time taken for a fixed journey and the speed of the vehicle. If the speed of the vehicle is increasing, the time will be decreasing. In the previous direct proportion example, we were mentioning a fact that a vehicle is moving in the uniform speed, because it should be considered there. The distance and time are connected over there, but here the speed is getting varied. That means the speed is getting increasing, so the time will be decreasing. Keep practicing and don't forget to follow this channel for more updates. Thank you all for watching the video. Please be stay tuned for the upcoming parts of your classes.